Hi there, just a quick note before the episode starts. As you might be able to tell quite early on, Brandon's audio's pretty bad. Basically, he was in the car at the time. We had a few issues here in the UK with power outages and things like that due to the stormy weather we've had, which has meant that we've had to basically postpone the recording until a different date, and it was basically the only time we could get it done to get you guys out a podcast this week. It's not the level we expect. It's not the level of audio quality we want to be putting out to you. We've had Cameron, our audio guy, absolutely try and work his magic on the audio. But if you do notice it being not too great, I do apologise. Nonetheless, it is a good podcast, if I do say so myself. And I hope you enjoy it. If you can't bear it, then I understand that. We have penned in another interview with Brandon a bit later on in the season. He's got his own podcast microphone, everything like that. So if you can't bear this one, there will be another one with Brandon. So yeah, but yeah, I hope you enjoy this podcast. And yeah, once again, apologies, but I hope you enjoy if you can bear the noise. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 46 of the Everton Motor Racing Podcast. Jacob, who's that?
Nicola Bulliger and Valentino Rossi.
And Tommy Bridewell.
Tommy Bridewell. But yeah, only one of those is really good. Only one of those has got a Chev Championship at the end of the day, so.
Fucking hell. It's second time we've recorded this, same as last week, where we've again had another technical issue. Love life at the moment. This is
the technical issue is called debt.
Hey, what happened last week? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, it wasn't recorded, so yeah, it was my fault again. So this is just fucking brilliant. But as you can tell by the title, we've got Brandon Paasch on the podcast.
What's up, guys? I've been looking forward to getting this episode with you guys.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming. Obviously, from when we had Sean Dillon Kelly on last year, and we he said some things about you, and you said you had to set the record straight. So
yeah, I just figured I had to jump back on and just kind of let everybody know the truth. Like I don't know, this guy's got a fuzzy memory or something from back in the day. I don't know what's going on there, but I just had to make sure before I wound up opening my mouth, but I had to go back and look through all the results. I was like, I don't remember that ever happening. And then, so now we're here.
Yeah, because he came on and basically said that he beat you in every race you did going up to the Moto America. So
yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that. I know, every time I raced him as a little kid, I always beat him. but yeah, I don't know. I went back through the results and just to set the record straight, I didn't get beat until Moto America with him. So, but yeah, he definitely whooped my ass a little bit there in Supersport.
Yeah, it was. It's nice though because you're like a similar age, you two, so you've got that kind of rivalry going on. But although you're like frenemies as they are, I see both of you cheering each other on social media and stuff like that. So that's quite nice to see.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, there's a mutual respect there for sure. It's not like we take each other out for dinner, but yeah, I mean, we both respect each other's abilities at the end of the day, and I'm sure there is going to be a little bit of shit talking between us and just words going back and forth, because at the end of the day, like you said, we're only a year apart as far as age goes. Our abilities both really, really high, so there's going to be some kind of verbal talking going on between us, and even on the track we're so close in ability that there's going to be some close racing. And from all the races we've been in, there's never been any dirty moves from either of us, I don't think so. It's always good racing and always a good time riding with him, so it's all love at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure that Daytona win last year was just a little bit sweet to beat him by 3/100ths of a second at the line.
Yeah. No, that was a big one for me, especially mentally for myself. Just getting my ass whooped all year, the year before on the Supersport bikes by Sean. Not all year, but just too many times. But yeah, just to come back and win Daytona was sweet for me, just as like a kind of just to prove a point. Like I went off and rode in BSB last year, and that was my last race against Sean. So just to come out on top of that one was really special for me. So
yeah, I bet, yeah, 100%. I mean, come from, you were like, what, 6 seconds behind at one point, and to come back and win the race. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what he was doing in that race, to be honest. Like, I put my head down and I was clicking off laps that I was like, okay, these are good laps, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch him. And I could see every lap that I was making up time. Like at first, I was coming out of the horseshoe and I could see him up on the banking. And then I got to a point where I was coming out of the horseshoe and I couldn't see him on the banking, and I was like, either he's capping me or I'm catching him, one or the other. So I just kept my head down, kept pushing, and then before I knew it, I could see him I was coming out of the first horseshoe and he was coming out of the second horseshoe. So I could see that I was closing on him, and I was like, all right, I'm going to keep my head down and hope that he doesn't magically just pick up the pace. And yeah, before I knew it, I was right there, and I think there was about 6 laps to go when I caught him, something like that. And I knew, just play it smart. You did all the hard work now. Don't give it up.
Yeah, just keep pushing, That's it. Never give up mentality, as they say.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, exactly. So once you get him in the sights, that's it.
Yeah, it's like a rabbit, isn't it? Rabbit in a hare, just chasing it down.
Yeah, man. And I knew, like, all weekend, like, I felt really comfortable on the bike. And that was honestly the first time that I felt real confident going into a race in a while. So it was either, honestly, in those last 6 laps, I didn't care. I was either going to crash or win. So
shit or bust.
Yeah, it was one hell of a race, and obviously you're doing it again this year. So I'm quite excited to watch that, because there's a bloody, like, I need to ask you the question we ask every podcast guest in a minute, but I'm too interested in this at the moment. But like, the Daytona list this year is stacked. Like, obviously I saw Gagne and Peterson were confirmed as well this morning. I was like,
yeah. I mean, this one's not going to be easy. Not saying that the last one was easy, but this is going to be a challenge for sure. And when I go out there and do a good job at this one, then that's it. Like, nobody can say anything about it. Like, I got Heron, I got Gagne, Peterson. I heard Matthew Skoltz is racing, Sam Lockoff, Danny F. Like, there's a whole list of guys. There's about 10 guys that are going to be really fast. So if I go out there and do the job again this year, nobody can say anything about it. So that's my goal. Go out there, not do any shit talking before, just show up, get the job done, and go home. So
that's it. Yeah,
that's my.
Yeah, because you got although I don't believe you're going to use the number 1 plate, but you've got a title to defend at least.
Yeah, I mean, I could use the number 1 plate if I wanted to, but there's just something about the number 1 plate, especially for a one-off race like that if I run that and don't do good, it doesn't look good for me. So I'd rather just stick with my own number. I've had good luck with my number and show up, get the job done.
That's all
I can really do.
Yeah, get another Rolex to celebrate with. Yeah, because Wyman won it 2020, didn't he? And then he last year won the number 1 plate and stacked it behind a back marker.
There
you go.
Yeah, when Wyman won it and raced with the number 1 plate, it didn't work out too well for him the second year. So for me, running the number 1 plate is just kind of a superstitious sort of thing where I don't know that it's a great idea to do it. I'm not saying that I couldn't win it with the number 1 plate, but for sure it's a superstitious kind of thing. There will be some number 1s floating around though that on the weekend.
Yeah, I'm sure. Nice. All right. So let's run it right back. So at the start of every podcast, we ask our podcast guests just a little icebreaker question. And you're probably one of the best guys to ask this because, going through your Instagram reels and stuff, your music taste is pretty good. So the question I've got to ask for you is, what 5 songs are you currently listening to right now?
Songs is, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of MGK and Ian Dior.
My man.
I don't know the names of the songs really.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, it's a lot of. Just Jacob, I know, is a massive MGK fan. You like him, don't you, Jacob?
Yeah, it's a good shout, that is. I like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I got a superstition with that. There's one MGK song that I always used to listen to before I would win a race when I was in BSB. Obviously, it didn't work out for me last year at all, but
yeah.
but I just had one lucky run of it where like all of 2019, every time I would win a race, I listened to the same song before the race.
Yeah.
You've got to keep listening.
So
to them,
I'm looking for the new song.
Yeah. No, good shout. It's good to have your superstitions. I know a lot of you racers have your superstitions. It's mad. But yeah, I was actually, funny enough, on topic of MGK, I was watching the new Jackass movie and MGK was in that, and I was like, hey, what the fuck? I didn't expect MGK to appear.
He's all over the place now. It's kind of crazy. He's kind of blown up to more than just like a singer, you know?
Yeah. He's like a
crazy,
like an icon. I mean, he is dating Megan Fox, which does help his like his name.
That's pretty iconic, to be fair. I wouldn't mind.
No, he's
Put some respect on his name for that, haven't you? Let's be honest.
He's pretty much living every man's dream, I think. Yeah, bloody hell. Right, so I want to take it way back with you, right back. It's kind of what we ask everybody, but it's good to kind of know, how, because every ride has a different story of how you actually, became what you do now, which is obviously a racer. So, like, how is it that your racing career began? Did you just kind of just hop on bikes? Were you quite a late rider, or?
We started on dirt bikes when I was really young, 2-3 years old, with just a little Honda Z50 in my backyard, and just slowly progressed. Like, I think I got onto 65s and 150s, 4-strokes, like moto, and then after that it was just full road races, full on the car tracks. We had SR50 and 50s and the 65s and stuff on the car tracks, and I just kept pushing on that, just kept progressing, getting better, and then we were finally taking the jump to the Ninja 250 and the Milwaukees, and it all kind of spiraled up from there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Fair play. And then, because then you went into the KTM Cup, didn't you? And you were the RC Cup champion.
Nice.
Yeah. Actually, before the KTM Cup, I was racing in Europe a little bit when I was like 14, 15 years old on Milwaukees.
Right.
There was a championship called the Milwaukee Junior Cup, and we did maybe 4 races that were in conjunction with the BSB. So I raced at Aston, Donington, and Brands Hatch, and then Aston again. The first year, actually, Roy Skinner was in it, Philip Stock was in it. Like, there was quite a few guys that were in the class that were turning out to be pretty fast now. So yeah, and then the second year that I did 1 race the first year and 3 the second year. Second year was like Dan Jones and a couple other, I think maybe Max Cook, some guys from BSB that are doing pretty well now that we're in it. And then I, like you said, I did the KTM Cup. I had actually tried out for the Rebel Rookies Cup, didn't make it, and I wound up doing the KTM Cup last minute deal. Like a week and a half before the season started, somebody offered me a ride, and I was like, yes, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Showed up to the first round, got a second and a first, and the rest is history.
Fair play, yeah. Because was that in the just the USA version of it? Because I know the KTM Cup, they've got like different ones across the world, or was it just the USA KTM Cup you did?
Yeah, so I did the full season of the USA KTM Cup, won the championship. The top 3 from the championship got sent over to Aston to do the World Finals.
Yeah.
Come over there, and I think I got a second in one of the races, a second and like a 4th or something, and finished 3rd overall in the World Finals. Yeah, it was a good year for me. I was pretty stoked with that. Just a little kid, first year racing in Moto America, and I had a good year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you did pretty well. And so did that then, because obviously you had some experience on the British tracks at that point. Did you then decide to then make the choice to move to the BSB, or was it a case of staying in America for a little bit? Or
I wound up, actually, I won the KTM championship and I got a ride from M4 Suzuki. And this is a little bit of like a kind of a controversial story, I guess, but I wound up riding for M4 and only made it to round 3 of the championship in 2017.
Yeah.
And got let go out of my contract. And then that's when I wound up bouncing around a lot more, experiencing a lot more of the British tracks, because I couldn't get a ride. There was no teams available in Moto America. Everything was already taken. This was we're 3 rounds into the season, and there's no more spots available for you, and we couldn't afford to do it on our own. So I actually met Mark and Kay from GNS and did a couple rounds of Stock 600 in 2017 in BSB. I did my first ever Moto3 Junior World Championship race in 2017. Did my first BSB Moto3 race in 2017. And I didn't really excel on the 600s per se that year. I struggled a lot, just a 16-year-old kid. And in the Stock 600 class BSB, I think I was the next youngest guy was like 19 or 20 that year. So I was quite young and very inexperienced. Didn't know the tracks, didn't know the bikes, didn't know anything. I didn't really get any amazing results per se, but honestly, for me that year, just being in the points was good. And then I rode the Moto3 bike that year, and I was like, all right, this is what I want to do. That hooked me, and I knew from that point, I was like, all right, I'm going to race Moto3. Whatever I got to do it, we're doing it. So that next year was when I was like, okay, 100%, we're all in on the Moto3s and BSB, and that's when I jumped on that Microlise Mahindra.
Oh yeah. Yeah, with it was a 4-man team there, was it? Chris Taylor, Asher Durham,
Asher, and it was 3 guys on the Mahindras, and then there was one or 2 kids on the NSFs that year.
Ah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
but yeah, that was kind of my my entry to full-time racing in BSB, and I think that was my first season. I think I finished maybe 5th in the championship or something. I missed a handful of races, and also had a pretty big injury at the end of that season at Oldham Park. I completely shattered my left wrist and missed the second race at Oldham Park after I qualified like 3rd or something. It was my first front row start. It was either pole position or 3rd. I think it was pole position. I got pole position at Oldham Park 2018 and then crashed in morning warm-up before the race and shattered my wrist. And then missed the rest of Oldham Park and Brands Hatch. So
oh my God.
Still finished top 5 in the championship my first year, and from that point I was like, all right, I need one more year, win this championship, then move up. And everything went to plan. I signed for FPW Racing for the next year on the KTM.
Yeah,
came out with the double win. I don't know. I knew I could do it, and I knew it was more of a matter of me keeping myself healthy and fit rather than having to like kind of really jump my skill level up, So I really focused on myself that year and just kept myself healthy, like I said, and just kept my head on straight and got through the year. So
yeah, you did you really good year, obviously, because you won the championship that year in the British Moto3 series, and you made your debut in the Moto3 World Championship as well.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty much an absolutely unbelievable year for me. Like, I had a goal actually a long time before I wound up racing Moto3 and BSB. This goes back to 2015, where I was telling everybody that was in my circle, like, I want to win the Moto3 Championship BSB.
Yeah.
And that was all I wanted to do for a long time, was just race BSB Moto3. And that was 2015, and it took me until 2018 to actually be able to race in the championship. So I mean, I watched every single race up until the point that I actually got to get in there. And by the time I got in there, I guess it just happened to be where my age and my skill level and the people behind me were all at the right time, and everything just clicked. And I had a really good year and made my world championship debut, which was another dream come true, honestly. And I mean, I didn't go out and obliterate everybody, but I out-qualified Tom Booth at his home track. So that was pretty, I was pretty happy with that, to be honest, man. Like, I don't think people realize how big I am and how hard it was for me to ride those little bikes. Like, I'm 6'1", borderline 6'2" now, and I think I was nearly 70 kilos. So
that's a lot in Moto3 terms.
Yeah, and to be qualifying in Moto3 and less than 2 seconds off the top times, for me, that was like, I surprised myself, man. Like, I didn't expect to do that good, and people are going to look at it and say, yeah, okay, you finished last or second to last or whatever I did, and judge it. But for me, I made myself happy. I made myself proud doing that. So
there's not many people that can say they've raced in the Moto3 World Championship. So
yeah, and there's nobody else from America that can say they raced in the Moto3 World Championship.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you're the first and now only one, aren't you?
Yeah, and the only guy from America to win a British title as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, bloody hell. Well, there you go. Yeah, his title's just rolling in. Like it's funny actually because you mentioned like obviously you're the first one to do these things, and a lot of people looking in might not kind of realize the things you've actually already achieved in your career. Like you've raced in the CEV Moto3 and Moto2 championship as well because you're the AGR wildcard.
And I'm still the only American to qualify for a CEV Moto3 race as well.
Bloody hell. There you go.
Not just keeping track or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, honestly, as a personal feeling, I still feel like I'm pretty underrated, like at least to myself. Like, I don't mean that in like a cocky way, but like, I feel like I'm capable of a lot more than I've achieved yet. And I just hope I get the chance to show that to everybody else,
Yeah, I think...
No, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, I'd definitely say, like... Because, as well, unfortunately for you, although, because, like, you've raced against Sean Dillon Kelly a lot throughout your career, and then you've seen Sean now go straight into the Moto2 championship, and you have been pretty much similar pegging the whole time throughout your careers, and then, obviously, Sean makes that move, and you're kind of saying, like, what the hell, man?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little bit, not necessarily jealous, but a little bit like, man, like, I just want a shot, like, I know it's, a lot of it comes down to timing and funding and whatever else. Like, there's a lot more to it than just, okay, you're in, kid, like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, and you gotta kind of respect the process. And I know that in my career so far, we've tried to go against the grain as far as going from America to BSB and trying to get into GP that way. But I mean, kudos to him. He played the game smart. He came back to America. It took him 3 years, but won the championship, and that was kind of the next step, at least for his career. So, I mean, I'm proud of what he's done, but at the same time, I'm frustrated as hell because I want to be in a world championship. So
I know what you mean.
That's my goal.
Yeah, I mean, because you're only, what, you're 19 now? 19, 20?
I'm 20. I turned 21 the week after the Daytona 200 this year.
Oh, shit, damn. So you can't, even if you win, you can't drink yet.
yeah, exactly. So I'm waiting until after the 200 on Wednesday is my birthday. So I have a really good result, Wednesday, 21st birthday party, is going to be a good time.
It's gonna be mental. Yeah, I'm sure you enjoyed being in the UK a little bit more, and you're in a race and you're 18, you're like, yeah, let's go. You can drink and spray Carver on the podium and all that.
Yeah, no, that was actually really cool as a younger kid coming from America, where like the drinking age is so strict and stuff. And even when I raced in America, everybody else would have champagne on the podiums, but not me. So then to get over to BSB, win some races, spray some champagne, it was cool. I've been loving it. And even just like little things like when you go out with your team and they order you a pint, it's like, this is cool,
Yeah, know what you mean, yeah. It's a different lifestyle, really. It's strange, like, it's kind of different worlds. So,
it's honestly it's pretty crazy. Like the amount of kids in America that I know that like I've either never drank underage or all they've done is drink underage is like and you go to England and it's like everybody's drinking from the time to like 16, and legally drinking from 18.
Oh yeah, like
it's
16 is late.
Yeah, 16 is late, man. Really.
That's crazy. Like, over here, like, if you're underage drinking, you're maybe doing it at 18, 19, 20, like,
wow.
It's unheard of for people to be underage drinking at, like, not unheard of, but I guess where I'm from, like, people under the age of, like, 18 don't even, like, really know what it is,
Wow.
Couldn't imagine.
Takes me back to, like, what is it, like, when I was like 14,
in a
sat in the middle of a park.
I think it's mostly, like the whole, like, when you're in England and stuff and you go out with your parents or with your team or whatever for a dinner, like, that it's like common for everybody to order, like, you just have a pint or whatever, you have a drink and that's it. Like, it's a normal thing. Where here, when you go drinking, it's not like nobody that I know of, even adults, you don't go to dinner and order a drink. Like, if you go drinking, you're going out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, no
I think
thanks.
alcohol's just
It's not like a
There's-
common thing.
yeah.
One of the best joys in life is like
Yeah.
a beer with curry. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like a good curry and a beer is just.
Oh, I couldn't imagine going out for food
Yeah.
and not ordering a pint. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, that's also another uncommon thing. We don't really have curry and stuff in America either.
Oh,
Yeah.
mate.
You're not really selling
When I was
America
saying
right
that,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't. It's not like we don't have like curries. We don't have like pies and stuff. You know, like we don't have that kind of food over here.
Remind me never to
What
go
about
to
curry
America. I'm never going to America.
Oh man.
Yeah, not selling it at all.
No
Yeah,
curries, no pies, no
That's
pints.
stuff for
Oh
me
no.
too. Like when I first come over to England and I was living there pretty much on my own, like just getting used to the food and the people and the humor and everything. Like honestly, it was a trip. Like it was so
Yeah.
difficult to figure it all out and understand the culture. You know?
Yeah, I bet it was like a massive culture shock.
To be fair, a lot of
Yeah, I mean, especially like I think so. 2018, I was 17 years old. I flew over by myself and just figured it out. You know, like it's not
That's
like
huge.
I didn't have somebody over there holding my hand and kind of showing me what to do.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough for sure. But now I'm coming back home and I'm like, man, this is different.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I like this.
You want to just thank your lucky stars, man. No, you could have landed in Scotland or something. That would have been a problem.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
off.
mean, I guess like I feel like I lived in the middle of nowhere, nearly like in Derby. Like now,
okay.
back, like if I went to London or something, it wouldn't have been so much of a culture shock. I feel like it would have been more like because I live pretty close to New York City here, so it would have been at least somewhat of like okay, you're living in a city and you can kind of do what you want, like get what you want and stuff, like food wise and
Yep.
stuff like that. It's a little bit more like visitor friendly, I guess you could say. But like
it
living
is.
in the middle of Derby, like you're in it.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
fucked, basically, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, in the UK, like literally,
Wow.
like some places you can be and there's just nothing. You're like in the middle of nowhere and like, oh, the nearest shop's like 20 miles down the road and you're like, bruh.
Yeah,
That's the
Especially-
majority of Wales.
with no car, like I was just either commuting by train or walking or riding my bicycle. So
Fuck.
on rainy days, it was not fun.
No, yeah, I can imagine. At least
And
you
there'd be plenty of those. Yeah.
oh yeah, in the UK, rain
Fair
is
play.
just yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Look at his windows. It's sunny as hell. Like,
Yeah,
like
like-
you're
I
right
know,
now in the
I'm,
middle
like,
of a
so
fucking
jealous.
storm.
Yeah, we've got like horrendous
Yeah,
storms here.
At least where I'm from in like New Jersey, it gets really cold in the winter and stuff, and we'll have like some snowstorms. But even today, it's the middle of February, close to the end of February, and it's beautiful blue
Oh,
skies.
damn.
And
Yeah,
it's cold, but
Wow.
it's not like raining all the
Yeah.
time. You know,
yeah.
I can deal with that. Yeah.
I can deal with the cold.
See, now America's coming back up on the scale.
Yeah, I mean, you must have gotten quite used to like riding in the wet when you came over, eh? Like, you must be like the best
Yeah,
wet
honestly,
rider there.
my full season 2019 in Moto3, I didn't have one rain race all year.
The
Not
fuck?
one rain race. That was the nicest summer that I've ever had in Europe.
Yeah, I can
Wow,
imagine.
I remember that, yeah.
Jeez.
I mean, I know 2018 we had some rain races, and 2021 we had some rain races, but that one summer, 2019, not one rain race. It was beautiful weather all season.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like unheard of.
Lucky.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your luck.
yeah, jeez. So then obviously from that 2019 season, then you were signed up to do the GP2 series. Obviously with the RS Cavara racing team. COVID stopped that, and so obviously you went back to Moto America for a season. When you kind of the 2021 season came around, was there an offer again to race in GP2, or was the offer that you had maybe for Triumph better?
Yeah, I mean, I did have a handful of offers. Like right when I first started looking, there was a couple spots. Like I was really not gonna lie, I was really pushing to get on Appleyard on the Yamaha.
Oh yeah,
And
I can imagine.
when it came down to it wasn't an option at the end of the day. When I tried to finalize some things with them, it wound up not being an option. But there was options with. I'm pretty sure there was option at Gearlink. There was another option, but I didn't really have any Moto2 options. And in my head, coming off an R6 Supersport from a year, I wanted to just stay on Supersport and just go for it. Try to fight for a championship in Supersport over there, which I knew that wasn't going to be easy. Just because I'm friends with Rispoli as well, and like I watched him over there, and I knew the guys that were going to be in the class aren't going to be easy to beat. So I thought in my head, like my next best option is let's get on that Triumph. And honestly, I was more so playing the long game of expecting to be in the World Championship 2022, which didn't play out. But yeah, that was my goal, was get on that Triumph, do some development with the bike, and then progress with the team to the World Championship. And yeah, didn't go exactly as planned. I mean, they did give me an awesome opportunity last year, and there was definitely times throughout the year where it wasn't going my way, and we weren't all getting along and meshing and stuff. But we got through the year, got some good results at times, and yeah, I mean, I honestly, I know I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here,
right.
But like after Donington, when I double podiumed, and then I carried that momentum to Cadwell, nearly a podium there, and then a crash, and then we went to Snetterton. And man, I've never felt so good on the Triumph before, and finally got a good result. Another, I think, 4th or 5th, something like that in race 1, but set pole for race 2. But no, I didn't finish race 1. I set pole and then crashed and broke my wrist.
Oh god, yeah, I remember
And,
now.
Was that Snet?
That was at
man.
Snetterton. So right when I started getting momentum last year, like I was consistently top 5 fighting for podiums week in, week out towards Snetterton, and finally set up pole position in race 1, crashed, broken scaphoid in my left wrist, and just never. I wound up missing Silverstone and came back for Olton, which was a really rough one. 2 weeks after surgery, I was riding around Olton, and I think I finished maybe 5th there again. And it was just, honestly, for me, it was just devastating, to be honest, like, to say the least, because I really thought that I found my stride, and I thought that I found like a rhythm, and I was showing up week in, week out now, consistently fighting for podiums and being at the front. And yeah, that was just a devastating way for me to end the season, honestly. And I never, even once my wrist was healed per se, I think 4 weeks later, 5 weeks later, at the last round of the season, I didn't feel the same. Like, I never clicked with the bike the same. I just never clicked.
Yeah, because the scaphoid is a bastard, to say the least. Like, yeah.
Yeah, so like I think I broke my wrist. I broke my scaphoid on the Saturday, and then that next Friday I had a screw put in my scaphoid, and then 13 days later was FP1 at Olden Park, and I was in some serious pain. Pain.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, it's gonna hurt here, but it won't be too bad. And that was severe pain, man. Like that really hurt.
Yeah.
It's always the ones you least expect, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky for me that at that point, like, I'd already started working with Shaky, my manager, and he was kind of guiding me through the whole process, really, like from the time that I broke it to getting me a doctor to get a screw put in, everything, like just having him there through the whole time, like, of helping me schedule things and getting my surgery done and getting back on track. Like, he helped me out so much with that whole process, where like if I didn't have him helping me, I probably wouldn't have raced until 2 rounds to go, or maybe even the last round, you know. So
yeah,
it was good to have him there for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
he knows injuries, doesn't he, Shaky?
Yeah, bloody hell, Shaky, his injuries. His career-ending injury a few years ago. I'm sure he's got the best people in the world who helped him out on that.
Yeah, no, he knows some good doctors for sure, and also being a champ, like you pick people along the way. So
yeah,
for me, it's important to have Shaky in my corner, and especially for times like those where you're down and you don't know anybody. Like I was 19, 20 years old this year over there, like living by myself. I've never had a surgery before that year, and I wound up just getting a surgery by myself in Manchester.
Damn.
Nightmare.
Wow.
Yeah, because
that was a
yeah, I remember speaking to you last year, and from what I understand, your last year was pretty shit for you on like a lot of terms, and then obviously when you got injured as well as that, you know, I can imagine that was pretty gnarly.
Yeah, there was a lot of times last year where I was just frustrated, and honestly, being a young kid, like I didn't know how to handle it really. Like I'm used to being able to figure situations out, and when I was put in a situation where not necessarily only me, like I was definitely part of the catalyst, but not only me, kind of spiraling the situation worse. Like I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know what to do, and it just seemed like everything that I was doing was either making it worse or at least not making it better. So I was getting frustrated a lot last year, and just it like kind of sucks because there was definitely a lot more potential in the whole program and in myself.
Yeah.
Than what the results show, and yeah, I mean, for me that's frustrating to even say that because I like to get the most out of myself and get the most out of like the whole program around me, and I just feel like we didn't maximize our potential last year, and it's kind of left me in a spot where I was kind of racing for that World Supersport shot, and at the end of the day I was left without it. So it's not a fun position for me to be in because it almost makes you feel like you blew a shot at going to the World Championship.
Yeah, 100%. Because I remember reading an interview earlier on that season before, you know, the season started where you said, can't remember where it was now, but you said that, you know, you had World Supersport wildcards written into your contract. And obviously last year they couldn't do the Triumph and Supersport because of the regulations that only switched over this year. So what is it that kind of meant that you didn't move to the World Championship with the team? Because obviously they've gone with Hans Sommer and Stefano Manzi now.
Right. Yeah, which is an interesting pairing of riders. But in my contract, it was if I finished top 3 in the championship, I would get the jump up. But obviously, I didn't finish top 3 in the championship, and like. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily frustrating because the team did anything wrong or as far as contracts go. And honestly, they offered me the ride. It just, we couldn't afford it. And yeah, I mean, like they didn't do anything. They didn't do me wrong at the end of the season or anything. It's just the way that it all happened to work out where technically I didn't perform. I didn't do my job. And that's the real reason why I don't have the ride. But they did offer me a ride and we couldn't afford it. But between me and my personal sponsors, it was kind of out of our league a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it sucks because that's where I want to be. I want to be a world championship rider. And hopefully at some point in the future, we'll get the shot to do it. But it just wasn't in the cards for this year.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the world championship, it's mental. Like, I won't say the numbers I've heard about what Manzi and all that paid, but it's in the hundreds of thousands. It's obscene money.
6 figures, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, to be honest, like I know what it was going to cost me.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that they either paid that or more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, I would consider myself on good terms with Simon Buckmaster. Like we're all good. They didn't do me dirty. I don't think I did them dirty at any point. So, I mean, we're all good, and I still send them messages here and there, just saying hi and stuff. But yeah, I know that ride's not free. It's not cheap. I not just them. Like every ride in World Supersport is a ridiculous amount of money, unless you're a guy that is already proven and can show up and fight for the title. So, yeah, I mean that's honestly that's most of racing in general. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that, but yeah, it's not an easy sport to get paid.
Yeah, it's pretty impossible. Like, because I remember an interview with the then Supersport champion Randy Krummenacker, who had to pay for his seat to win the title on and you're like, what the hell's wrong with this championship and this sport where riders are basically paying for their career?
It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. Like, I don't know. I get it. It's a business at the end of the day, but like for us as a rider, like we're going out there risking our lives every weekend to not make bonus money, but to have to pay to race. Like, it's pretty crazy. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how that the sport got this way, but yeah, I mean, it's through every level of racing now. It's Moto America
Even down to
guys,
Chev.
BSB guys, it's Moto3 riders in GP. It's really bad in Junior World Championship. It's not cheap to get in and play with the big dogs. So yeah, I mean, I know that there's guys that are in there and they're getting paid, and there's guys that are in there on free rides plus bonus, and like, I mean, everybody kind of talks, so you hear numbers here and there, and
yeah, of course.
whether they're 100% accurate or they're a little bit off, who knows? But yeah, like it is crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then
it's a bit of a kick in the dick, in it, really. Sometimes when you see the numbers that are reported.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's not I'm not gonna sit here and say that I've not paid to race or sit here and complain about it, because that's how the sport is. Like, there is no, you open your mouth and say like this isn't right or whatever, like you just won't get a ride. So you figure it out, you do what you have to do to make it onto a team. But man, it is a tough pill to swallow when you're going out there to try and fight for a championship or fight for race wins, and you're spending however much money out of your own pocket. It's not a great feeling. And to be honest, as a little kid, like, you always dreamed of like, oh, I'm gonna be a champion and make all this money, and it's changed a lot since then, you know. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, it goes from like a dream into, for some riders, a nightmare, with like obviously the recent David Salvador losing his seat in Moto3 World Championship because he couldn't afford the 600k or whatever it was that the team were after. And it's like, you're like, I get that it's like, a lot of people say that it's like a rich man's sport, and I do get that to a degree, but in the same way, like, and racing isn't cheap, but
It earns 600 grand to run a fucking Moto3 bike. It's that simple.
In my opinion, like, if you're gonna call it a world championship and say it's the best riders in the world, it should be the best riders in the world, not the guys that can afford to be there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that as like a spiteful thing of like, oh, I'm not in the world championship. Like, it's not that. I'm saying in general, look at Salvador. Like, he shows up to the Moto3 test and he's top 5. Like, the kid's good. Like, there's talented people out there that can't afford to do it, or just haven't been put in the right opportunity to do it. And it's sad as like another. Not saying that this is me, but there's a lot of guys out there that are capable of being in the world championship that either didn't get the right shot or don't have the funding to do it. And like, it is crazy. It is absolutely crazy to me. And I mean, I'm not saying that the guys that are there aren't the best, because they didn't get there by accident, but I think there are guys that are definitely more than capable of being there that just never got the chance.
Yep.
Yeah, you're
100%.
1,000% right. I completely agree. Like, I can't believe to think of the amount of probably national level riders that could do incredibly well in the World Championship, who really should be there, but because of money and things like that, they're stuck doing national championships just to try and kind of pay their own bills, because if they went to a World Championship, they've got no money coming in, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of guys are relying on these bonus checks to pay their bills. So, I mean, I get where they're coming from. Like, you got to do what you got to do to feed yourself and pay your bills. So, but yeah, I don't want to get too far down the money rabbit hole, but I think there is something there, and I mean, it's not going to change anytime soon, but yeah, it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, if anything, it's going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that the trend of the cost of everything. I mean, even just the cost of living in America keeps going up, so the cost of racing is going to keep going up. It correlates with the rest of life. So if everything's going to keep getting more expensive, racing's just going to keep getting pricier and pricier. But what can you do? Keep trying to go racing and just do the best you can and hope everything works.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so obviously you have gone back to America this year, which for you is probably better financially with the, because I know that kind of Moto America, they do a lot of, they got like rider purses every year, and you get paid. A lot of riders get paid by the championship to ride, or there's good bonuses on offer and things like that. So what I'm trying to work out is, would you ever see yourself racing back in Europe, or would the comfortable, the money side of it in America, is that better for you, or?
Honestly, right now, I really feel like I'm in a position where I need a reset year and I need to show up and perform.
Yeah.
And in my opinion and the people around me's opinion, I think we put myself in the best spot we can. Financially as well. I didn't make this decision just based on money, but at the end of the day, like, it was costing me a lot of money just to live in England. Paying rent and food and travel and everything, like, it all adds up, and it gets really expensive. So for me to take a break for a year, be back home, still be racing at a really high level, and try and make a little bit of money, if I'm even allowed to say that, but try and like help myself to fix the situation that I've got myself into to hopefully get back to Europe one day. And I mean, all I want to do is go to the World Championship at some stage. And I think for me right now, it's important that I come home, get some results, maybe work my way up through the ladder over here and see if I can get another offer. I mean, obviously, working with Shaky, he's obviously got a lot of connections in BSB. So if I can get the job done back home on a big bike, maybe I can jump back into the BSB paddock on a bigger bike, or I don't know. I'm open to everything, really. But I do want to come back to Europe at some stage.
So obviously you're staying in the Moto America series this year. You're racing in the Stock 1000 and the Superbike Cup, which is basically the Superbike class with Stock 1000 riders in it, like combined with. And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, you're on a Suzuki, is that right?
Yeah, so this year, you're 100% spot on. I'm racing the Superbike Cup and Stock 1000 championships on the Altus Motorsports Suzuki. So, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, what made you want to move up to 1000cc from the 600? Was there any motivation behind that? Because you've done quite a few years now on the 600, so I'm guessing it's like your natural progression.
Yeah. So I mean, for me, like, I got a couple years in on the 600s. I think I proved to myself that I can be competitive on the 600 and be at the front. But honestly, I'm, like I said before about the Moto3 thing, like, I'm a big guy, and I think that the extra power on the 1000, I think, is really going to help me and really going to kind of level the playing field a little bit more for me. Obviously, I'm going to need to figure out the whole style of a 1000 and learn the little intricacies of the bike and stuff like that. But honestly, I think that the extra power is really going to help me just from how big I am, from that standpoint of it. I would have stayed on the 600 though another year if I would have been able to put myself in a position that I was really genuinely happy with. But there unfortunately wasn't a spot for me where I was like super excited to do it. So to me, it was better jump up to the 1000, start learning it now. I'm in a position where I'm really happy with my deal. I'm happy with the team that I'm with, happy with the bike, and everything is just, it's a positive for me so far this year. So if I can keep that positivity going into the season, and if we don't, for whatever reason, start winning right away, just keep that positive energy and figure it out, because I do think we have a good package, and that was the biggest deciding factor for me was this is a package that can win, and I want to win. So.
Yeah. Because the Suzuki's a proven winner in Moto America, not so much on the world scene, but definitely for Moto America.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because how does the Stock 1000 work in the Moto America? Because I know, obviously, the superbikes are fully blown superbikes. Do you have electronics and things like that in the Stock 1000s, or is it like pretty much bare bones from the kind of supplier?
Yeah, So the stock 1,000, as far as I'm aware, honestly, I've not read the rule book, but pretty sure that the bikes are just, you're allowed suspension and then just the basic, like obviously race fairings, rear sets, clip-ons, but I don't think you're allowed to do anything with electronics, just stock electronics, as far as I'm aware.
Same as stock Thou in Britain, then probably.
Yeah, it's pretty similar. I think it's similar to BSB rules, to be honest.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, because BSB, they literally don't run electronics. I don't know how the fucking hell they control those things without electronics, but...
Yeah, it's wild, like 220 horsepower with no electronics at all. And on BSB tracks as well, where you go to Cadwell Park with 220 horsepower, you don't need that much horsepower around that track, so...
You don't need 100 horsepower on Cadwell, bloody hell.
No, it's so thin as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing what the British guys do on those bikes with no electronics. And Moto bike, we're basically World Superbikes, but with Dunlops, more or less.
Yeah, because what do they ride Pirellis in BSB? Is that right?
Yeah, BSB is Pirellis, and also World Superbike as well as Pirellis.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually, now you mentioned Dunlops, what's your opinion on the Dunlops? Because I've spoken to a lot of riders who absolutely hate them.
Yeah, for me, like, I'm not super opinionated as far as tires go. I have a deal with Pirelli for outside of Moto America stuff. I like Pirelli's tires, and for me, they work really good and all that kind of stuff. So for like Daytona, for example, I'll be running Pirellis because it's open tire.
Yeah.
But like as far as Moto America goes, when everybody's on the Dunlops, the tires are really good and they get the job done. We don't have any problems with tires in Moto America, and I mean, I don't mind riding the Dunlops. It's just everybody has their preference, and for me, my preference has always been Pirelli. But I don't know. I mean, they're definitely good tires, and honestly, the Dunlops keep getting better and better. So I'm interested to see how they are on the big bike. But in 2020 on the Supersport bike, they were plenty good enough for what we're doing. Like we're setting lap records at Barber on these tires, so they can't be bad, right?
Yeah. I mean, and you're going to be racing against Danilo Petrucci as well, aren't you, in the Superbike Cup?
Yeah, that's pretty wild, honestly. I mean, like, I think he'll be really fast, but I don't think he's going to set the world on fire. Just my opinion.
Do you not?
But yeah, I mean, listen, like these guys in Moto America are not slow.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Oh no, 100%.
Slow. And Petrucci's showing up to these tracks. Like, there's some of these tracks that are like BSB tracks where I think he'll show up and be like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, like, what the hell?
I think that's going to be a little bit of a shock to his system, but he'll be fast. Don't get me wrong; he'll be at the front. But
yeah,
I just think like if Baz is another really talented rider, and if he couldn't win every race, like I don't know. I think he'll be competitive, and I think people are going to take what I'm saying the wrong way, but I just can't see him destroying everybody.
Yeah. So
no, I agree.
On the basis of that, do you think Gagne is going to wipe the floor again?
I don't know. Like, I think the Gagne thing is really interesting, to be honest, because like I really like Gagne and I like his style and I've followed him for a long time, but I don't know. It's interesting to me that just like Bobier leaves and now Gagne is the guy, like that now he just wins everything. It's pretty crazy. But I do think with Cam Peterson on that bike next year, I think very, very competitive.
Yep.
And obviously Petrucci. So he's not, I don't think he'll walk away with it, but I think he will be obviously the guy to beat. He's coming in as the champ. So you got to respect the champ. And yeah, I mean, that's the first guy you want to beat. But at the same time, like, he's not coming in slow. So
yeah, he's coming in like, again, like I'm the same with you with Gagne a little bit. Like, I really like Gagne. But like what he did last year was just disgusting.
Yeah.
Like, he just wiped the floor.
It's crazy. Like, I want to see some good racing, and it seems like it's always been whoever's on that attack performance bike is just destroying everybody.
Yeah.
Whether it's Bobier. I mean, another one that I was surprised with last year was Heron. I really thought to do a lot better than he did. Like, I don't know, just being teammates with Gagne, seeing how good Gagne did, and then even just like Tony jumped on the bike at Pittsburgh and boom, was second.
Yeah, he was straight up there.
Yeah, and like Josh is not like a guy that should be getting beat like that. Really, like he's a top rider. He's won a Superbike championship, and like the guy's a good rider. It was really honestly surprising for me that he wasn't winning races.
Yeah, it's a strange one. And then JD Beach came in as well, didn't he? JD Beach did quite well.
Yeah, and JD as well. Like it's
a weird one, isn't it?
Superbike class is crazy in Moto America that like certain guys will be at the front one year and then the next year they're nowhere near. Like I don't know. Even like I think this year I don't know about Skoltz. Like I'm on the fence with Skoltz, like whether he's going to show up and destroy everybody, or at least what he's going to do, because he's been on the same bike now for
6 years or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And like he's always coming out with some really good results at certain times, and then he'll fade a little bit, and then he comes back really strong. And you're like, man, I don't know what it is, but if he could just change something, I don't know what that something is, but if he could just change something, like he's a championship contender for sure. So.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mad one over in North America at the moment. It's bloody good racing though.
How about Kyle Wyman ditching the Superbike program to race a Harley?
Yeah, man.
That was a weird one. That was
like that came out of nowhere. That
I'm gonna assume it's all down to the Denari again, but
for me, I can see it from his point of view though, where he's spending all this money and spending all of his time just getting his Superbike program like up and running, and now getting paid to ride a Harley. Like, like it's a lot easier for him to sit back, take the paycheck, go race a championship that he knows he can do well in, instead of putting all of his time and effort into a Superbike program that he's probably spending I don't even want to know how much money on,
obscene amount of money.
From a rider side of view, I can see it for sure. I mean, I don't like to have to do much other than training and racing. So
yeah, no, I get you there. I mean,
fuck up as that sounds, like that's one thing that you really as a rider, like it makes it so much easier to just you show up with just that one focus, and you stay focused on the race weekend, and it makes your life a lot easier at the end of the day. So
I couldn't imagine running a team as well in that weekend. Fuck all that.
Yeah, and like if you crash, you got to worry about crash damage and getting parts, and if Ducati have sent you special parts and you break them, and no.
Especially for him, like running his own team, like, and a Superbike team at that. Like it's not like he's just running a stock Alvin or a Superbike, which is relatively easy to build and maintain. Where like those Ducati Superbikes are ridiculous.
Yeah, like
exotic, and they
they're like. I'm trying to compare.
Even a wing is like really $2.5 grand.
I remember he crashed that Ducati at the Ridge in 2020 in Washington in turn 2 of the second race, and that was after he already totaled it once on the weekend. Crashed in turn 2 off the start at maybe 15 miles per hour, bent the forks, the wheels, blew the engine up, like completely totaled it again. And that was, he just got the thing rebuilt.
I remember that.
It didn't even look like a bad crash either. Like he just fell over, and the bike was like running on its side and stuff, so it didn't. Jesus Christ, I'm getting thrown around over here. Yeah, I feel like I'm in GTA right now. Yeah, it's. What was I saying about Wyman?
Just shook it out your brain.
Yeah, it literally shook it out. Yeah, saying about him crashing T2 in Washington.
Yeah, like stuff like that, and as a team owner, I'm sure that's frustrating. And then being a team owner that's racing is 10 times more frustrating when you go and destroy 2 bikes in a weekend that are $80,000 motorcycles. So.
Yeah. He must have a bit of cash about him. Like he must have done really well with his sponsors.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah, because I mean, we've got him. I'm booking him after you. He's going to be our next podcast guest. I've already spoken to him again already about what this whole project and what he was meant to do this year after leaving Ducati, and I can't say too much, but I understand why he has quit Superbikes to go on the Harley, because he said to me that like it's been his dream since he was a kid. So I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I get it. Like I said, as another rider, I would not necessarily I would do the same thing, but I could see why he would do that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, so props.
Yeah, if you get paid to race, you're literally living the dream.
Yeah, exactly. That's every rider's dream, is being able to pay your own bills and enjoy yourself just off a race of motorcycles. So,
And he'll probably win the title as well. Let's be real.
yeah, and he's got a really good shot at winning the championship. I mean, I tested the Indian bagger a little while ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
How was
Wow.
Okay.
I was trying to push for a ride with them guys, but they picked somebody else. I can't say who, but they still also have Tyler O'Hara from last year. So
Yeah, of course.
he'll be really fast this year. Their new bike feels real good to me. So yeah,
how
I
is
think
it,
that'll
though?
be an
Like,
interesting class to watch.
In terms of riding.
I was super. It was actually great to ride. The thing was like riding a big supermoto bike.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You expect that.
Handles so good.
Because they
Handles
look like
so
they're
good.
boats.
They don't feel so heavy neither when you're riding it. It feels like a normal motorcycle.
Okay,
So,
now.
Yeah, because you see him slinging it down the bloody corkscrew, and you're like, how the hell are you doing that on that big ass bloody?
yeah, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. I was expecting it to be a lot more difficult to ride than it was.
Okay, fair
Yeah, 'cause-
play.
Put it that way.
They've got them at Daytona this year as well, isn't that right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, that was actually my main goal, was to do the baggers at Daytona and do the 200. And I wasn't able to put together a bagger program, but yeah, I was actually super keen to do that. It just obviously it didn't fall into place, but I'm super happy that I'm actually able to do the 200 again.
Yeah, try and take your title. Because I asked Sean as well. I asked him if he was going to try and finally try and go for the win against you, but he can't make it this year. But he said he's going to give it another go, I think, next year. So if you are still racing it, then you've got some good competition there. We've lost him.
Oh, we've lost him.
We've lost him.
Plays out anyway.
There we go.
Nope.
No.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean,
There we go.
like, it'll be super interesting to see how it all plays out. Like with this year with the 200, and then obviously like if Sean was to do it again next year, like that'd be pretty wild. It's pretty unheard of for a world championship guy to come back down and do the 200. You know, so
Yeah, because I mean it's the prize money's decent on it after tax
Plus the
as well.
bling.
But
yeah, I mean, it's good prize money, and it's America's longest running race. So it's like a good like, I don't know, and it's a good time to go do it. You know, like it's the beginning of the season. There's no other racing going on. It's spring break in America for all the high school and college kids. The week before that is Daytona Supercross. You got flat track down there as well. And actually, just this past weekend was the Daytona 500. So there's a lot of racing going on down there at this time of year, and it's a pretty prestigious event. So for me, that's like one that I would always look to do. But as a world championship rider, you never really see any of them guys coming back to do it. You know what I mean? So
yeah, exactly. It's kind
Very
of
different, isn't it?
yeah. Once you leave the nest, you don't come back, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
What do you think about it being 600s these days? Because obviously it's too dangerous, I'd say, for superbikes these days. But would you like to race a superbike if you could, kind of thing, or?
I don't know, man. Like Daytona, just from riding it as much as I have, like I could see why we don't ride superbikes there. It is like on a 600, we're doing 175 miles an hour on the banking. So on a superbike, you're going to be doing 210, 215 probably on the banking.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on the tires, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's the scary part is I don't think there's any tires that can handle that. You know, like the last time that they did it, they had to run a different track layout because they couldn't do 200 miles on the banking. Like the last time that they rode thousands there, they couldn't do the 200 on the 1000s because it was chewing tires up. So if there was a tire hard enough to do it, like, yeah, for sure, I'd be super keen to do it because that's like next to the wall at 210 miles an hour would be unbelievable up on the banking. But I think still it's a bit too dangerous in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, even the 600s, like I said, you're doing 170, 175 miles an hour, and you got a group of 10 guys this year right next to each other for 200 miles. It's going to be some close racing, and it's it's pretty scary, man. Like it's not an easy track to just say, you know what, I'm going to go set a new lap record around here, because you're wide open for a minute of the lap. Like
Yeah, because it looks absolutely petrol. I think it might have been Josh Herron. I'm not sure. I think I watched a video yesterday and somebody's riding it, and obviously because you come there's a left at the end of the bank and you go down left into the corner, and they were right by the wall, like pretty much scraping the wall before they braked and went out. And I was like, that is so scary.
And like, I mean, it's gotten a lot safer now that we have like brake lever guards and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was a year that like there was a big group. I think Corey West, Josh Herron, Eslick, like a bunch of guys, and Herron crossed the line onto the last lap and hit somebody's brake lever, and Corey West come off at like 160 miles an hour on the banking.
God.
His bike and crashed, and like, yeah, it's scary, man, because you're riding within inches of each other at 175 miles an hour. Like, it's no joke. Like you're going fast. So Daytona's it's a really scary track, but it's super fun if you're if you have like a weird twisted mind. But
I bet there's nothing like that bank in mind when you're flat out.
Yeah, no, there is nothing like it. Like even testing before the race, there's nowhere you can go to even like replicate that style of track. It's so different from anything else that I've ever ridden. But yeah, I mean, it's sort of like a bucket list kind of thing, I think, for most people, where like, I don't know, some people like for me, for example, I wouldn't mind doing like the Isle of Man or something someday.
Really?
Where like people keep the 200 as their, like, that's like on their bucket list, you know?
Shit. So
TT's too much. No,
yeah, Cameron's got his TT shirt on there.
Oh, I do actually. Yeah, that's not even intentional. Classic TT.
No, it's too much. Like I wouldn't fancy it. But then again, you racers are fucking nutters anyway. So
yeah, I mean, for me, like I don't think I'd ever be allowed to do it as far as like my personal moves and my family and stuff. But
yeah,
if I ever got the chance, I would do it hands down. I love it. I grew up watching it, and like even just this past year, like when I was over in BSB, I was hanging out with Davey Todd, and I met Connor, and like just it's wild, like the people that I've been meeting just coming to BSB. Like I used to idolize those guys racing the TT, and like I watched Connor Cummins crash, like when he flipped over that fence and stuff.
Yeah,
that was nuts.
I was like, no, that's unbelievable. Like you're standing in front of me, and you what?
Yeah,
and you did like.
Yeah, I've never been like starstruck over any other riders or anything, but like TT riders, like I got the most respect for them guys. Like, and I've met just about everybody, like GP riders and everything, and I'm more like in shock when I meet like TT guys. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
different breed, and
they are.
Yeah,
fucking, like I don't know how to do it.
No, it's great. Like I don't know. I spent a lot of time around Davey this past year. Like a couple weeks, and every time we're at the track together, we hang out together and stuff, and they're just different people. Even Michael Dunlop, when he rode the Triumph this past year, like
yeah, of course,
they're just different guys. Like they're not all there, you know.
Yeah, they have screws loose everywhere. Because Michael replaced you, didn't he? Is that right? When you were injured?
Yeah. So basically, like the weekend before that at Snetterton, I broke my skateboard. Then Michael replaced me. But Kyle didn't even make it to the race because he crashed in qualifying and broke his pelvis.
The
only one that rode was Michael.
Yeah, I remember because there was at one point it was you and Kyle were not racing for the team.
Yeah, we were both injured and not doing too well. So
yeah, to get Danny Webb in, didn't they?
At Danny Webb, we had a crazy year last year, man, with just different people on the crew, different riders, like our team, probably so many people just from our team alone. Like it was unbelievable.
Yeah, you had
real development.
I think at one point I had maybe four crew chiefs at one point. Like by the end of the year, I had 4 different crew chiefs.
That's
bloody hell.
That's not good.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit going on behind the scenes, I think, because I remember seeing some social media posts from you.
Yeah.
About like last year and what was going on last year. And so like was there friction between you and the team? Was it just kind of?
Yeah, I mean, there was certain times where like the like it got pretty heated and pretty bad at some times throughout the year where like I would want one thing and not get it, or just like I wasn't allowed to or whatever, and I would get frustrated, and like there was a lot of times where we were like not on the best of terms, but yeah.
You're choosing your words carefully there.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, like we got through the year, we all got some decent results, but I think there was a lot of stuff that both me and the team could have done better to get better results and have a lot better of a year. So
yeah, I can imagine, like, because it just seemed a bit like with the team, and obviously Kyle got pretty much sacked. Well, not sacked, but he lost his ride. And I saw Kyle Smith posting on social media about, not having a ride as well, and only hearing about it from the team's kind of social media posts about Hans Zuma. Yeah. And I was like,
yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing that happens within the industry a lot of times, to be honest. Like, that's not the first time that's happened. I mean, yeah, I mean, for me at least, they didn't do anything like that wrong to me. Like, they had respect for me. I had respect for them. They called me at the end of the year. We talked about 2022, and we just weren't able to put together a program for it. I mean, I knew probably before anybody else what they were doing anyways, and unfortunately, it just didn't like click with my program. But yeah, they didn't do me dirty by the end of the year. We sorted everything out, and we're on good terms. But there was some times throughout the year where there was definitely it was difficult to keep going and keep showing up. To be honest, there was some times where I was done. I didn't even want to come back. But
yeah, no, I can understand that.
I did have one question. What was it like doing burnouts in the middle of Times Square?
Yeah, that's an interesting one too, because like, me and my friends do stuff like that. Not all the time, but every once in a while we'll get together and we'll do some stuff that's a little like kind of crazy like that. But that was pretty cool actually. It was like a really cold night in like last December. And I was with a group of my friends, and we were like, what would be really cool? Let's go do a burnout in Times Square.
Hell yeah!
And everybody was like, I don't know if we should do that. I don't know. We wound up doing it, and it was actually pretty cool. Like, we didn't get bothered by any police or anything. It was the middle of COVID, so there were police everywhere, but they didn't come say anything, and we didn't get chased or anything. So we just did the burnout, got the video, left.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it a lot.
I remember seeing the comments on social media.
I've been like, I had to chill out with the whole doing hoodlum stuff on the street. I had a stern talk to do with some of my sponsors, and they had to straighten me out a little bit.
Yeah, because I remember a lot, like the wheelies and stuff on the streets and stuff. And because like, you had a scooter, didn't you? And then you doing stand-up wheelies on the supermotos on the streets and stuff.
Yeah, like we're me and my friends, like where we live, it's not like a crazy populated like area and stuff. So we kind of can get away with doing stuff like that and not get in any trouble, at least with like the law. But it also like it looks bad, I guess, for like sponsors and stuff, or at least in their eyes, because it's promoting something that's unsafe. And I don't. Listen, like when I do it, it's not like I say like, oh, go do this. Like that's the last thing I would say is go do that, because one, it is dangerous, and two, like you can get in a lot of trouble. But that's one of those things that like I just kind of grew up doing that kind of stuff, and it's just normal for us, And I would post about it. I wound up starting to get in trouble for it and stuff. But I don't know. You look at Instagram now, and Josh Herron's out doing.
I was gonna say,
So like for me to get yelled out for it, I mean, it is what it is, because, I mean, I kind of got to listen to certain people, but like, I don't know. It sucks, man. It sucks because I see all these guys doing it and having a good time. I'm like, man, I just want to go do that.
Yeah, I want to do that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Just don't film it, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Just go and do it and say, "Oh, fuck it, camera's out." No. No.
Oh yeah, I mean, in our meeting, it wound up being like, if you really need to do it, you do it.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, then I'm not interested in doing it, because if I can't post it, like, I only do that stuff. Like, yeah, we go ride on the street and we go have fun, but I only do like the crazy stuff like for social media. You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm doing it just to get the post, just to get the engagement, to build my profile. Not not doing it to go be a dummy on the street. Like I'm doing it for a reason. Like I need to kind of keep building my social and stuff like that, get my name out there to kind of keep climbing the ladder, where like other guys do it just because that's all they know. Like I know that's what gets likes and gets views and
because like Heron's doing it like mad at the moment. Like he posted one this morning of him
the
just
comments
stood on the seat, and all the comments are like, "Oh, you're a professional rider." You're like, "Fuck no, man."
Fuck off, Karen.
I don't know. Yeah, we are professional riders, but at the end of the day, too, like we all like to have fun, and it's not just us that does that kind of stuff. Like as far as me and Heron, like there's so many guys that do much, much worse than that I know personally that also race professionally. So, like, I don't know. It's all people are always going to perceive it to be like a big problem, a big ordeal, just because we're technically professional athletes and we're supposed to be role models for kids and stuff. And listen, like me posting a video doing a wheelie on the street, yeah, okay, maybe one or two people are going to be like, oh, I'm going to do a wheelie on the street. But most of the people that are going to do that stuff after seeing us do it already do it anyways. Or, or like, it's not like we're influenced. Just like, I don't know. I maybe I see it different. I just think.
Oh.
It's breaking up
we lost
it again.
Yeah, crashed right out there.
There we go.
We're back.
There we go.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. But yeah, like a lot of people complain about what riders do on social media, but it's like Reddin's getting shit because he's doing his little California things, or he's bombing it down the push bike and stuff. But it's like any can't win. It's Redding's too wild, he parties too much. Then it's now he's trying to be a professional cyclist and he doesn't take racing. It's like it doesn't matter what you do, you just can't win with these people on social media. Yeah,
there's always going to be people that are.
Yeah,
there's no such thing as bad publicity. Is there?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, yeah, you can get in trouble and you can do stupid stuff, and that doesn't help your stock. But if your name's getting out there, your name's getting out there. In my opinion.
It. Yeah.
So, I got to be honest. I watched your video, and not once did I think, "Yeah, I'm going to go and do a burnout in fucking Times Square." You know what I mean? I just watched it and thought, I enjoyed that. That was good.
Yeah, like that's so out there that like there's nobody that's going to be even trying to go replicate that. I feel like other people that would do that anyways without me influencing it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Well, I think that's all we've got time for today. But thank you very much for coming on the podcast, Brandon. I do appreciate it. Appreciate your time.
For sure. Thank you for having me on. And I know I went off on a couple little rampages there for a little bit. Yeah.
Love it.
Good talking with you guys. And hopefully we can do another episode either after Daytona or at some point throughout the season or end of the season or something. Yeah,
we'll definitely get you back on. We can... we'll arrange it, and hopefully we won't have any technical issues and audio issues and stuff like that. So. Yeah,
next time I have a podcast mic and stuff at home.
Shit!
I completely forgot I was out doing stuff today, training, and then I was like, oh no,
crap.
So it's my apologies for maybe not having the best audio and internet today, but yeah, it was great being on, chatting with you guys, and hopefully we can do it again at some point in the future.
Yeah, 100%. We'll get you. We'll have to try and get you and Sean on at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That'd be sick. It'd be fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Hell yeah. Right.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll let you go. But yeah, thank you again for coming on, and we'll definitely get you back on again at some point.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Thanks so much. See you later.